March 29th on this day, in 845, Viking raiders, probably led by Ragnar Lodbrok, launched a siege on Paris. The city was sacked and the Vikings departed only after receiving a large ransom. In 1461, after a bloody battle during the Wars of the Roses, Edward IV defeated Henry VI for the throne of England, marking one of the conflict's pivotal moments at Toten. In 1549, the city of Salvador da Bahia was founded as the first capital of Brazil, becoming a major center for Portuguese colonial administration. In 1638, a permanent European colony was established in present-day Delaware, laying the groundwork for future settlements in North America. In 1790, John Tyler, who would later become the 10th President of the United States, was born. In 1795, Ludwig van Beethoven, at age 24, made his public debut as a pianist at Vienna's Burgtheater, marking the beginning of his celebrated musical career. In 1797, renowned writer Mary Wollstonecraft married philosopher and journalist William Godwin, uniting two significant figures in British intellectual history. In 1807, German astronomer Wilhelm Olbers discovered the minor planet Vesta, which is the brightest asteroid visible from Earth. In 1813, John Tyler, later the 10th President of the United States, married Letitia Christian Tyler. In 1819, Edwin Drake, who would later drill the world's first productive oil well, was born. His innovation revolutionized the energy industry. In 1827, composer Ludwig van Beethoven was buried in Vienna. Over 10,000 mourners attended his funeral, reflecting his profound impact on music. In 1847, United States troops under General Winfield Scott captured the Mexican stronghold at Vera Cruz during the Mexican-American War, a pivotal moment in the conflict. In 1867, the British North America Act united the colonies of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Canada as the Dominion of Canada. The province of Canada was divided into Quebec and Ontario, marking a foundational moment in Canadian history. In 1886, Coca-Cola was sold for the first time at a drugstore in Atlanta. Its inventor, Dr. John Pemberton, marketed it as a cure for ailments ranging from hysteria to the common cold. In 1901, Australia's first federal election took place, and Edmund Barton became the country's first prime minister, inaugurating the nation's parliamentary government. In 1903, a regular news service began between New York and London, using Marconi's wireless technology. This innovation marked a new era in global communication. In 1912, Captain Robert Falcon Scott, stranded in a tent near the South Pole, made the final entry in his diary as his polar expedition neared a tragic end. In 1917, the American thoroughbred racehorse Man o' War, later considered one of the most famous racehorses of the 20th century, was born. In 1918, Sam Walton was born. He would become the founder of Walmart and one of the wealthiest individuals in American history. In 1943, John Major, future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1990 to 1997, was born. In 1951, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were found guilty of espionage for providing United States military secrets to the Soviet Union and were sentenced to death. In 1951, the musical The King and I, written by Rodgers and Hammerstein, debuted on Broadway. The show became a classic, making Yul Brynner a major star. In 1952, President Harry Truman announced that he would not seek re-election, opening the Democratic Party's nomination to new candidates. In 1959, the comedy film Some Like It Hot, directed by Billy Wilder and starring Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon, premiered at Loew's Capitol Theater in New York City. In 1961, after a lengthy trial, Nelson Mandela was acquitted of treason charges in Pretoria, an important moment in the struggle against apartheid in South Africa. In 1962, the Cuban government opened the trial of participants in the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, drawing international attention to ongoing tensions between Cuba and the United States. In 1966, Leonid Brezhnev became first secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. He denounced American policy in Vietnam, calling it an act of aggression. In 1971, Lieutenant William L. Calley Jr. was found guilty for his role in the My Lai massacre during the Vietnam War, a turning point in public perception of the conflict. In 1973, the last American troops withdrew from South Vietnam, marking the official end of United States military involvement in the Vietnam War. In 1974, Chinese farmers discovered the Terracotta Army near Xi'an, uncovering approximately 8,000 life-size clay warriors and horses guarding the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. In 1975, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat announced that the Suez Canal would be reopened on June 5th of that year, restoring a vital global shipping route. In 1976, 8 Ohio National Guardsmen, were indicted for the shooting deaths of 4 students at Kent State University during an anti-war protest in May 1970. In 1994, National Football League coach Jimmy Johnson resigned from the Dallas Cowboys, leaving behind a legacy of Super Bowl victories. In 1999, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 10,000 points for the first time, symbolizing a milestone in U.S. stock market history. In 1999, Wayne Gretzky, widely regarded as the greatest player in National Hockey League history, scored the final goal of his career and retired at the season's end. In 2019, French filmmaker Agnès Varda, a key figure of the New Wave movement, passed away at age 90, leaving an enduring legacy in cinema. In 2022, Russia announced the withdrawal of its damaged forces from around Kyiv, marking a major victory for Ukraine during the ongoing conflict.
Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's events.